This news exploded like lightning in broad daylight. In a matter of hours, the title moved from one timeline to another, sparking anger, sadness, and long debates among fans. The sentence that first appears and then becomes a fire that burns everything reads briefly but sharply. The military band is unfair. Eun Woo is now being bullied in the military. Fans are angry. No one is really prepared for the emotional impact it can have. Eun Woo's name, which has always been synonymous with a warm smile, perfect visuals, and the image of a gentle man who is almost flawless, is now suddenly juxtaposed with the words unfair and bullied, a combination that makes anyone stop scrolling the screen and reread, as if hoping it was just a headline mistake or a cheesy sensation. Since the news emerged, the mood on social media has changed dramatically. Comment after comment flooded the post discussing the issue. There are those who immediately believe and vent their anger, those who hold back and ask for clarification, and those who feel devastated because they imagine that their idol has to live hard days away from the spotlight of the stage. Amid the frenzy, one thing becomes clear. The public is witnessing a storm of emotions that is not small, and Eun Woo is right at the center of the vortex. The narrative goes that in the military band unit where Eun Woo served, there was unfair treatment. The word bully comes up repeatedly, used by fan accounts claiming to get information from insiders or friends familiar with the military situation. The stories progressed quickly, from vague at first to increasingly detailed. Eun Woo was said to be given heavier training loads, received cold treatment from some colleagues, to reportedly not being given the same space to rest as the other members. There is no clear visual evidence, no official statement that supports it clearly, but the emotions that have been ignited make many people feel that this is not just an ordinary issue. Fans, who have been known to be protective, reacted violently. A hashtag calling for justice for Eun Woo is suddenly trending. Messages of anger, sadness, even despair filled the comments column. Many write how ironic it is to see a figure who is known to be polite, humble, and hardworking actually associated with this kind of bitter story. There are also those who bring up his career journey from the beginning, how he built a name with high discipline and a clean image, making it difficult for them to accept if now he has to face psychological pressure in a place that should uphold the value of discipline and justice. On the other hand, there are also more cautious voices. Some senior fans and entertainment industry observers caution that the military has a strict and closed system. Not all stories circulating outside can be ascertained to be true. They stressed the importance of waiting for official clarification, both from the military and the agency. But these voices are often drowned out by larger waves of emotion. For many fans, the anxiety and anger felt more real than the need for verification. What makes this issue even hotter is Eun Woo's reputation itself. For many years, he was known as a figure almost without controversy. Each of his appearances at public events is always colored by compliments about his polite attitude and professionalism. When a person with such an image is suddenly associated with a story of unfair treatment, the public reaction tends to be extreme. There is a sense of disbelief that turns into anger, as if the world is again showing its cruel side to a figure who is considered too good. Personal stories began to emerge from the fans. Some write down personal experiences of how they have been victims of bullying, then relate them to what they imagine Eun Woo is going through. This empathy makes the issue no longer just about an idol, but about the collective wounds that many people have felt. Every word bully that comes up seems to reopen a bitter memory, making anger feel more legitimate to vent. However, behind it all, there is one big question that keeps hanging around. What really happened? To date, there is no official statement that unequivocally confirms the presence of bullying or injustice within the military band unit. The military is known to be very cautious in responding to these kinds of issues, while the agency usually chooses the path of closed clarification before speaking to the public. It is this information vacuum that only magnifies speculation. In the vacuum of facts, the public imagination works without limits. Some observers argue that the issue reflects a clash between two very different worlds: the spotlight-filled world of entertainment and the closed, hierarchical world of the military. When a public figure as popular as Eun Woo enters the military system, public expectations come in with him. Every little rumor can become big because of the big names involved. What might be considered an ordinary internal dynamic in the military environment, in the eyes of the public, can turn into a heartbreaking story of injustice. The international fans did not remain silent. Posts in English, Japanese, and various other languages began to appear, indicating that this issue had crossed national borders. Many have questioned how it is possible for a world-class idol to face treatment that is considered inhumane. There are also calls for more transparency by the authorities to prevent wild speculation that could harm all parties. In the heat of the debate, there are also concerns about the psychological impact on Eun Woo himself. Although there was no immediate statement from him, fans imagined the mental pressure he might feel if it was true that the issue occurred, or even if it did not happen but his name was constantly dragged up in negative rumors. Eun Woo's silence adds to her anxiety. Every day without clarification feels like an extra day for speculation to flourish. Interestingly, there are also those who see this issue as a reflection of how the public treats their idols. There is an expectation that idols should always be strong, always smiling, always doing well. When the possibility arose that they could also be victims of the system or pressure, the public was shocked and overreacted. In this case, Eun Woo becomes a symbol of vulnerability that is rarely talked about. As time went on, some fans began to change the tone of anger to prayer and support. The initially angry posts are slowly interspersed with messages of hope, asking for Eun Woo to stay strong and healthy. They realize that behind all the rumors, the most important thing is the idol's physical and mental condition. However, this calm is still fragile, easily turning back into anger if new news appears, no matter how small. Up to now, the issue of unfair military band is still hanging in the air, has not been fully answered. It becomes a story that lives among rumors, emotions, and expectations. There is no definitive conclusion, no final answer that can satisfy all parties. All that remains is to wait, whether there will be official clarifications that ease the storm, or precisely new revelations that make things even more complicated. In the end, this story isn't just about Eun Woo or the military band unit he served in. This is a story about how information, emotions, and fame intertwine in the digital age, about how one title can set off a huge wave, and how the public learns, once again, that behind the bright spotlight, there is always a dark side that is easy to misunderstand. Viewers, readers, and fans can now only wait, with unanswered curiosity, whether the truth will emerge to bring relief, or instead open up new, deeper wounds. That wave of emotion has not yet subsided. It is precisely after the first days have passed that this story becomes more and more layered, more and more complex, and more it makes it difficult for many people to distinguish between facts, assumptions, and collective fears. Every time the timeline seemed to calm down, a new post appeared, a short sentence that retore the feeling, "Someone noticed Eun Woo looks thinner," or "His expression looks different when he performs with a military band." Those simple words rekindled a fire that had not yet been completely extinguished. Many fans began to analyze every little piece they could find. Old photos are compared with the latest ones, facial expressions are interpreted, small gestures are read over and over again. Eun Woo's smile, which used to be considered soothing, now makes fans wonder, is it a genuine smile, or a smile forced to calm the public? These kinds of questions are constantly spinning, creating a loop of anxiety that is difficult to stop. At the same time, the discussion began to shift in a broader direction. No longer just about Eun Woo as an individual, but about the military system itself. Some fans began to bring up old stories about other idols who had served in the military and faced heavy pressure. Those stories, while not always directly relevant, reinforce the narrative that the military environment can be a harsh place, especially for a public figure who has carried the brunt of great expectations from the start. However, there is an irony that does not go unnoticed. Eun Woo entered the military with a determination that has been praised by many. He said he wanted to